Can I answer any questions? Anything we went over? Anything else that you had in mind when you came in this morning? Yes.
He had mentioned about teaching pivoting.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind of boring, so I was hoping for maybe some.
yeah, I mean, listen, and I would say, I think Lee's right that having worked, and I haven't worked with girls as much as I've worked with boys, but having worked with girls, that pivoting comes more naturally to boys for whatever reason. You know, that rip drill that we do, that's a form of pivoting, obviously, because they've got a, but I mean, I think that you could do something really simple where you put an offensive player, you could say you've got 10 kids, get them partnered up, put 5 offensive players, you know, on the sideline or on the baseline with 5 defensive players. Have them spin the ball, and the offensive player can't dribble, okay, and the defensive player has to pressure them, and I would say foul them, but maybe you want to be careful, you know, the younger kids, maybe you don't want them knocking each other down, I'm not sure. Okay, and then just work on ripping through, on stepping through that pivot. You know, you could then work on different kinds of pivots, so, you know, like I said, we always teach that 1-2 pivot, which would look like this. Okay, so catch it, 1-2, spin it, catch it, 1-2. But if you want to work on, like an inside pivot is, so if the rim's back here, an inside pivot would be spin and rip it like this. I mean, you know, you can work on different kinds of pivots. Yeah. I think what Lee's probably getting at is pivot and protect, which is that first idea that I was trying to show you, the idea that you want them to be able to step away from pressure, step into pressure, move without the basketball, without losing it, listen, the worst thing can happen is get back on your heels, because nobody can make a good play. You know, that's almost an automatic turnover, boys or girls, when that happens. Other questions? Anything else I could? Yeah, but
Teaching to be more aggressive. Is there any type of drills, or is that just something that comes naturally?
well, I mean, I think you can be on them all the time, first of all. You know, I mean, I'm constantly yelling, like, I just get the ball. Like, and that sounds so silly, but it really is an underrated basketball skill. Get the ball. Do what you have to do to get the ball. I think that pivoting drill, you know, is teaching them to be aggressive both offensively and defensively. I think that rip drill where you're telling them to foul. You know, rebounding drills are great. You know, you could just put together a 3-on-3 or even a 1-on-1 where you work on box outs. So when we teach box outs, we teach, so you're playing like this rim, shot goes up. We got to the point where we don't think that over the back is ever called in our league. Like we think that, you know, our 6'3" guys have 6'8" guys jumping over their back like this, and they just don't call it. So this is Michigan State stuff. Tom Izzo, he teaches you greet them, which means you not in the face, but you give them a forearm to the chest. You turn, and then you pursue the basketball. That's what we've started teaching. So, you know, we're teaching physicality there, and then we're teaching you got to get the ball. You got to be the guy to get the ball. And then we work on the offensive part of it too. Like if somebody's going to box out that way, we work on, you know, pushing that greeter down. If somebody's going to try the traditional way of boxing out, which would be to pivot into them and try and ride with them to keep them on their back, we work on like swim moves, things like that. So, I mean, I would say any kind of rebounding drill is going to emphasize physicality and going to emphasize the need to get the ball. And you wouldn't necessarily need to have the ball come off the rim either. You know, you could have 3 guys like outside the center circle with the ball in the middle, and they've got to try and maintain position for 5 seconds and then go grab the ball. So, you know, they're on the outside. You tell them to open up and box out, blow the whistle, you know, slide with them, count to 5, have them go grab the basketball. You know, the other one, I don't do this one personally, but you know, if you really want to be aggressive, you know, put you know, guys kind of on the lane line. Coach rolls the ball out and they got to go dive on it. But I don't do that because I'm worried about guys getting hurt, honestly. So I think you probably have a greater chance of these bigger guys getting hurt on a drill like that than the little guys. But I do think that there is an issue, you know. You don't want guys getting concussions in this day and age. So I'd be pretty careful with that one. You know, and then again, just emphasize it. Like, I mean, just be on. If guys aren't going to be aggressive, be on them. Use the bench as a motivator. Use the pine as a motivator. Other things?
Do you have any recommendations for, like, specifically for drills, like basic defensive drills, footwork?
Well, I mean, you know, I don't want to speak for Ron. I don't know that he does exactly the same things we do, but we do a drill where Ian and Noah, can you just real quick demonstrate our little one-on-one closeout drill? So Noah, just be the closeout guy. So we'll start a guy on the way, and so you'll see Noah will roll it. Now, if Noah did that in practice, I'd be mad at him because we really emphasize that we want the hands to go back to up, okay? And so we think, at least, and I know the girls' game's a little bit different than the guys' game, but I'm sure that the two translate to some degree. We think the currency of the game is can you get the ball in the lane, okay, whether by throwing it into a big man or by driving it in with your guard. So we think closeouts are just absolutely essential. And we will drill the heck out of it. Probably don't get all my guys about anything more than closeouts. And so we really believe that. Okay, so my philosophy is that hands back here to up here. When I close out, I never want my guys, by Bobby, I never want my guys to lunge, get up on their toes, because that's just a shot fake and go by. I would much rather that my guys have their hands here, which takes away some vision. But the real reason we do that is it throws your weight back. So if you're closing out and your hands go from here to here, it throws your weight back. Now when that guy starts to drive, I can move and absorb and slide and take away that drive. So we think it's a victory for our defense, because perfect offense beats perfect defense. We think it's a victory for our defense if we make them shoot a jump shot over hands in the air. So a jump shot over hands down, that's not good. A drive to the rim, where they get a layup, that's not good. So that's why we emphasize closeout so much. The other thing you couldn't really see there is we really emphasize, we want guys to overemphasize chopping their feet when they get into that breakdown position. Yeah, do that one time. Do a closeout and really overemphasize chopping your feet. He's probably our best closeout guy on the team. Okay, and chops the feet, because that breakdown gets him under control as he's coming towards the guy. So that's certainly one drill that I really believe in. The other thing, I guess, that I would say that I really focus on is the idea of jumping to the ball. So if the ball is at the top of the key, let me do it. Kelly, hop out here. Easy going. So Kelly passes to Ian. I'm going to jump to here. Stop. I created a triangle when I did that. It's something I talk about all the time. So the triangle from my man to me to the basketball, and then the cross from them. Now, the reason that triangle is so essential, we talk about pack lines, so some teams are in the passing lanes, they're denying. We don't really believe in that for our particular situation. We believe we're going to try and pinch and cut off drives and make teams shoot over the top and rebound the basketball. So that's one thing I'm doing by jumping here, okay? The second thing I'm doing then, if back to this time, try and cut. So when he tries to cut, I keep going like this. I could never let it become, so right there, it was ball, me, man. So you can say to your kids, ball, you, man, ball, you, man, ball, you, girl. Okay? You can never let it become, oh, bad job this time. You can never let that happen. That can't happen. Okay, so you've got to jump, create that triangle, ball, you, man, and he tries the basket cut. You know, we actually, since I've been here, we've been teaching to absorb that cut with your chest. Let him run into your chest. Do not let him get off your hip here. We actually, this year, we're gonna take it a step further. We're gonna talk about as he comes through, greeting him with the left arm. So jump, get to the triangle, he tries to cut, okay, left arm into their chest to hold them off. Now again, I don't want that to sound like we're teaching something dirty. I don't think we are. Like, I'm not saying I want them to, crush them, but I'm saying I want physical contact with the arm into the chest. So, in terms of translating that to younger girls, obviously you're not going to teach that to younger girls, but you certainly can teach the closeout part, and I think you really can teach the jump to the ball thing. The jump to the ball idea, create triangles, is universal for sure. And that's an easy drill. I mean, you can just set it up like that, passer, defender, somebody catching the pass, have them jump to the ball, and if they let them get between themselves and the basketball, blow the whistle, have them do it again. And then as they get better with it, you can set it up as like a 3-on-3 drill where they can pass to either side. So the girl now doesn't know, I have to jump this side.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Other things? Well, if there's nothing else, first off, again, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you very much for your dedication to our kids and to making our program better. If you think of anything else as you walk out of here, once you get home, by all means, shoot me an email. I'll do anything I can to help you out. I wish you nothing but a great season, success in your season, a lot of fun in your season. And I guess I probably should say, you know, that's probably the most important thing. Keep it fun for the kids. You know, that's basketball's supposed to be fun, and sometimes I think I probably lose track of that with these guys a little bit, but that's the most important thing. So thanks again very much for coming in.